The South Sydney Rabbitohs, they will obviously go up against the New Zealand Warriors Saturday at 3 p.m. Now, again, this would have been a home game for the Rabbitohs, but they have moved it up to the Sunshine Coast Stadium. The team list is up on the screen, TV, iPad, tablet, whatever you are using. Obviously, you have number 1, Latrell Mitchell, number 2, Johnston, number 3, Tane Milne, 4, Isaiah Tass, 5, Jackson Polo, 6, Cody Walker, 7, Lachlan Ilias, number 8, Tavita Totolo, number 9, Damien Cook, number 10, Daniel Saluki Fafita, number 11, Keon Kolomatangi, number 12, Jai Arrow, number 13, Cameron Murray, Blake Taff, David Moali, Sylvia Havali, Mark Nichols, and Isaac Thompson. Now, I don't know about you, but that number 11, Keon Kolomatani, that just sounds fun to say. Like, it just sounds fun to say when it comes off the name. But obviously, I look at that lineup. It is quite dominant. I'm not expecting too much from the Warriors, but just a talking point, obviously, from the Rabbitohs. Tane Milne returns from a finger injury. He does go in the centers, obviously, for Jake Cartwright, who did obviously pull his hamstring last game. Mark Nichols returns from injury to replace the retarded Tom Burgess after that hit. And the other, obviously, new face on the interchange bench is Blake Taff, who was recorded for his first game since round 15. For me, I think, again, this game's going to be pretty straightforward. As much as I'd love to see South Sydney upset, I think they do run away from the game. I think Latrell Mitchell does have an absolute cracking game again. I'm going to go Alex Johnston hat-trick, and that is my hat-trick tip of the week. Baxter, what are your thoughts on this lineup? And then we'll pop the Warriors up there and we'll get your prediction after the Warriors game. We'll save it for the Warriors team lineup.
Yeah, this is a strong squad. Again, they go to Shark Park and they only lose by 1. It sort of shows that they can play with the big boys there. But they also can lack a little bit of discipline when it comes down to it. So Latrell missing 3 field goal attempts is not the best, but should it just all rely on Mitchell? Should it not be sort of a Cody Walker there helping out, or Lachlan Ilias, or Alex Johnson? You know, someone to give the man a help. Look, I'm going to stick with it. It's going to be Latrell. It's going to be the Latrell show. So, look, I said it in the last one. Hat tricks coming for my fullback, and 13 plus for the South Sydney Rabbitohs here.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously, Latrell Mitchell has been in cracking form. Me personally, as a Roosters fan, I hope he doesn't hold his head and he does cop a suspension, especially before round 25, because it's a terrifying aspect having to see him on the field against you. But obviously, we did see, and this might look at the future, that Latrell Mitchell is going to be that fullback position. I think it was last game against the Sharks. It was the first half. He's played fullback. He had 5 touches the whole game. In the first half, sorry. They then put him into the centers. I think he only had about 6 or 7 touches, and 3 of those were field goal attempts. So he went into the centers for Cartwright. He didn't look quite at home. Do you think the notion of Latrell playing fullback for South Sydney is locked? And obviously centers for New South Wales, or could we see him shift come finals if there's a few injuries through that center position?
Yeah. Look, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Sorry. There are certain players who might play one position at clubland, but then will play elsewhere in representative football because they suit the makeup of the team around them better than if they were to play in their club football position. So, look, you could put Latrell out on the wing or the centres or 6. It's been proven at the Roosters, and it works well. So, I like Latrell at fullback. He reminds me of GI, that powerful big body, just no tolerance, and just he runs his own show. So it'd be hard to switch him from fullback to center, but if it happens, you also got Blake Taff there. You've seen it last year when Latrell was out due to suspension, and Blakey did a terrific job for the Rabbits, and yeah, you've got some depth in moving some key players around if you need to come for the injuries.
Well, obviously that is obviously South Sydney. They do have a bit of that depth moving players around, but I'll pop it up on the screen for you now, and it is the Warriors team list for round 21. Take it away, Baxter. Let us know, for those listening on Spotify, what the team list is, and then obviously talk us through your thoughts on this team list, and then chuck it to me. I'll give my prediction, and we'll move on to the next preview.
All right, here we go. I'm sorry to any of the players I butcher their names, but you got Reece Walsh in the back line at fullback. You got Dallin Wetesley and Zaziak. I should get that right because I should know that. In the wing position, Marcelo Matoya, Ewan Aiken, Edward Kosoi, Wade Egan, Sean Johnson, Aiden Fanua-Blake, Freddie Lussick, Tohu Harris, Bailey Sirensen, Jack Marucci, Aaron Penne. The bench now, Okotolo, Afio. Oh, this is bad. Bunty and Ella, and then you've got Josh Curran in the on the bench there, and to round it out, you got Jackson Ferry in the 18-man role. I'm sorry to any of those players who I've butchered your name, especially Dallin, because I should get that one right, being an old Dommies boy there. And look, this Warriors side on paper is a lot stronger compared to other teams that are surrounding them on the table. I think they just need to put a little bit more experience, maybe give someone sort of like a Blake Green sort of ish that before he retired in the 6 role, he sort of commanded that 6 role and took charge. And he could have been a player to help out Sean Johnson, but you need someone like that with a little bit more experience, a little bit more grit in the halves, and you're one player away from turning this whole thing around. Obviously, you lose Reece Walsh at the end of the season into the Brisbane Broncos, but they also the Warriors get Tamari Martin, the Broncos fullback. He's signed across, and also the Warriors are getting Chad Nickel-Coolstack from the Canberra Raiders. Now, where he fits in is up for grabs. Maybe starts at fullback, wing, off the 14 bench role. Who knows? But this Warriors team is not that far away from turning it all around and being that 2011 dominant, or that really strong Warriors squad. So hopefully they can do it. But if I had to pick, I'm going to stick with it. Latrell's getting a hat trick. It's going to be 13 plus to the South Sydney Rabbitohs. And just what do you think, Tony? Sorry, I'm just going on a rampage.
You're good. I've almost got to laugh, and it's not because of anything obviously that you've said, because I think you've nailed it to a T, exactly what's going on. But how many times in the last 6 years, Baxter, have we said, this is a Warriors squad that is going to prove us all wrong? They're going to make the finals. They're playing finals football. They're going to be a threat. And then we sit there at the end of the year and we go, they're that close. They're that close from making a difference. Now, obviously, you did say they have a few players coming in. Terari Martin, sorry for butchering that name, but obviously he does come in, and we kind of get to see maybe why Walshy did get released to Brisbane over any other squad. Maybe this was in the cards. Maybe they were just trying to obviously figure out the in-betweens of what was going to happen. But like you said, they've probably got one of the strongest squads from, let's say, 13 to 16. I don't want to sound too bad here. I'm not exactly sure what position the Bulldogs are in, because I'd argue the Bulldogs probably have a slightly better squad, but they've got a squad that should be competing a lot better than what they are. They're obviously not. Who knows what's going to happen, obviously. If you look at their squad this week, where do I start? Obviously, we'll start with their injuries. Obviously, it's good to see Wade Egan is good to go after his teeth almost got knocked clean out by Nelson. Chanel Harris-Tavita is out with a knee injury, and obviously Jazz Taviga's season is over due to a shoulder injury. But I kind of look at that number 10, Tohu Harris, number 11, Bailey Sirenen, and you go for the team, so you might be able to help me here. It kind of reminds you of that Tamalala. You add Aaron Penne in there, that Tamalala, Jason from the Cowboys. It's a terror. It's late at night, but listen, it looks like one of those forward lines that if you chuck a few players in there, they look like they could run over the defense. But then we sit here and we go, what the heck's going on with this team? Like Josh Curran, he's an absolute baller, but their forwards just don't seem to gain that momentum. So I guess to you, is it just the players' quality that's not there, or do you think maybe the coaching staff? Obviously, Stacey Jones is in charge. Like, do you see him getting a full-time gig, or do you see him looking elsewhere?
Well, it is already reported that Andrew Webster, not the reporter, will be taking over the head coach role of the New Zealand Warriors come start of next season. So, look, maybe Stacey drops back into the sort of a assistant coaching role in the halves like Joey Johns for the Newcastle Knights. So, yeah, look, they're only a few players away, and they're almost there. They just need a little bit more experience, more, not to sound anything racist or anything like that, but maybe some hard Australian players that have come through, and yeah, they're almost there, and maybe next year they finally prove us wrong and we can shut up for once about it.
Well, maybe next year, maybe this week. It's a bit too early to tell. We will know, obviously, after this game if they did have the result. But Baxter, obviously, great review. I think we're both in agreement that Souths are going to steamroll this game. They're both going to put on the 13+. If it was in New Zealand, different story, but 13+. You've gone a Latrell Mitchell masterclass. I have gone an Alex Johnston hat-trick as he pushes for that number 1 spot, which I think he eventually will get. But thank you again for joining me. Obviously, guys, we do these episodes for each team, and we do release them right before the game. So please hit like, please subscribe, and obviously, Baxter, I'll see you soon for the Raiders versus Panthers preview.